Coming up tonight on the news at 6. Montana lawmakers are considering a bill to resume executions by lethal injection in the state. Plus, a popular Helena fundraiser is going virtual. We have the details for this year's Paint the Town Pink.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the news at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Montana lawmakers are considering a bill to resume executions through lethal injection here in Montana. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian explains the history behind the bill and what it could change. He has the latest from the Capitol.
Since 2015, Montana has effectively been unable to administer the death penalty. House Bill 244 would make a change in state law intended to allow executions to go forward. In 2015, a district judge in Helena ruled the state's planned drug for lethal injections wasn't ultra-fast as required by state law. HB 244 would broaden that law, giving the state more options for possible drugs to use. The bill received support from Attorney General Austin Knudsen and a number of county attorneys. Knudsen said the companies that make ultra-fast drugs no longer provide them for executions. He said this language mirrors what other states have used, and that it's the best option to withstand legal challenges.
The language you see in front of you is what we believe is going to give us the strongest legal position to defend that and be able to actually carry out the will of this legislature in carrying out capital cases.
Opponents of the bill, including the ACLU and Montana Innocence Project, said it was too broad and didn't provide enough assurances that a new lethal injection procedure will be painless.
The specificity of an ultra-fast-acting barbiturate was to make this the least painful process as possible. The specificity is necessary.
During the hearing, the committee chair asked those testifying to keep to the specifics of the bill. He said a broader discussion about the death penalty should be held off until later this session, when a bill to repeal it is likely to be heard. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Right now, Montana has 2 prisoners sentenced to death. Now, the state last executed a prisoner in 2006. All right, Curtis, word on the street is winter's coming?
Yeah, and it's literally on the street right here on top of McDonald Pass. Take a look at that. All right, get used to more of this. We really haven't seen much winter so far this winter. That's McDonald Pass. How about Monarch Canyon here? Some snow moving in that direction. Speaking of snow, a winter weather advisory for the High Line, also for Beaverhead County. Most of the state, though, is under a winter storm watch, including Great Falls, including Helena, including Lewistown as well, down through Bozeman and Billings, and northeast Montana under a wind chill advisory for tonight into tomorrow morning. And it will get a lot colder than that as we get in toward the weekend. The snow mainly in the mountains for tonight and tomorrow, but this weekend, a super wintry weekend with cold and snow. In fact, the coldest in 2 years. More on the forecast coming up later on the show.
Now, taking a look at the state's COVID-19 situation, active cases of COVID-19 in Montana continue to decline. As of today, there are about 3,300 active cases in the state. Hospitalizations did rise by 5 from yesterday, so 121 people are currently hospitalized with the virus. 55 more deaths have been reported since last night, which brings the statewide death total to 1,316. Now, a note, 46 of those are out of Yellowstone County and are from routine case reconciliation between local and state authorities. Okay, well, staying in shape during the pandemic is challenging to say the least, but a Helena man's new business is aimed at helping people do just that and feel comfortable doing it. MTN's Alexia Guayo has the story.
We've all been there, trying to set goals for the new year. For many, it is losing weight and getting healthier. Well, this fitness business opened for those looking to not only get healthier, but to feel in the right community.
The very title itself is a welcoming name because we ain't dealing with some sort of model in me here. We're dealing with Dad, who has a dad bod most likely. I suppose that offers a sense of community that a lot of people would like to have.
One of the reasons Eric says he opened Dad Bod Strength now is because he went through prostate cancer treatment last fall. at a young age of 40 and decided that the pandemic shouldn't keep people from tackling their fitness goals.
And I was also in this interesting position where COVID policy defined absolutely everything, including whether I could get biopsies. So I didn't want to simply let COVID policy define whether people could pursue health in other avenues as well.
The pandemic has also affected another business that shares space with Dad Bod Strength and Conditioning. Salvo Self-Defense has transitioned from training all groups to now only women.
I follow, the Friendship Center on Facebook, and just kind of seeing the reality of during lockdown, especially, women are stuck at home in abusive relationships. And so it kind of just reinforced the idea, like, we need this. A lot of women, unfortunately, need this.
Both of these businesses are open on a part-time basis, but are looking to hopefully go full-time out of the pandemic. In Helena, I'm Alexi Aguayo, MTN News.
Well, because of COVID-19, Florence Crittenden's Paint the Town Pink will look different this year. Instead of a night out, it will be a night in, with a virtual program on Saturday, February 13th, a Valentine's Day date night box for couples and families, complete with a full meal and drinks, plus raffles and testimony from former clients. The Paint the Town Pink Gala is a big fundraiser for Florence Crittenden. It usually brings in about 25 to 35% of their annual raised funds. Executive Director Carrie Krepp said, COVID-19 has been a financial burden, and while they have stabilized, she wants to make sure no programs are lost as a result.
We need to be able to maintain that at least for another 6 months to really make sure we get out of this, the thick of this pandemic, and still be able to, at the end of the day, not discontinue services, because if anything, the need for services has gone up.
So you can find out more information about both the Paint the Town Pink and Florence Crittenden on our website, ktvh.com. And some happy news tonight. Nearly 50 dogs from a meat farm in China are in Great Falls, waiting to go to a rescue in Canada. Right now, the dogs are at Happy Tails. They were flown from China to LA, then driven to the border to cross into Canada. But when they got there at the border, there was no vet available to check them. So the organization transporting the dogs asked Happy Tails to take them in. Now, they were only supposed to be there for the weekend, but because of bad weather, the transport organization had to delay their drive to Canada.
Watching them learn to play has just been fun. And of course, they'd been fed light, I think, on the journey over here, so they were ravenous when they got here. But they've settled in now, and they're fun. We're getting awfully attached. This is going to be hard to ship them out.
The dogs are now expected to be on their way to Canada tomorrow. And still ahead on the news at 6, a look back at outgoing Friendship Center Executive Director Jenny Eck's impact on the community.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. Friendship Center Executive Director Jenny Eck announced she is stepping down to pursue an international fellowship in peace and conflict resolution. MTN's John Riley tells us about the impact she has made in Montana.
Jenny Eck took over the role as Executive Director of the Friendship Center nearly 3 years ago, with the goal of stabilizing the organization.
The budget was in rough shape, and there was just a lot that had been kind of left by the wayside just through all of that transition. And so when I came in, it was really about rebuilding all these different aspects to make sure that we had a strong foundation for the organization.
Under her tenure, the domestic violence shelter upped their staff, increased the number of people they could serve, diversified their funding sources, increased awareness, especially in schools, and increased legal services for their clients. Before joining the Friendship Center, Eck served as minority leader for the State House of Representatives. She helped reform sexual assault and domestic violence laws, increase consumer protections, pass Medicaid expansion, and bring transparency to parole hearings.
Being minority leader was an amazing experience. Leading the caucus through special session was quite an intense experience. I learned a lot about the budget in that experience. There just aren't very many women that have that much exposure, and it's important. Girls are paying attention around the state, and I took that really seriously. It's not just about what I'm doing, but about what do I represent.
Eck's last day with the Friendship Center will be April 2nd, before beginning her Rotary Peace Fellowship, a full scholarship which will allow her to pursue her master's degree in peace and conflict resolution at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. Only 50 students in the world are awarded the fellowship each year. X says she will miss the Friendship Center and Montana, which will always be her home. However, she's confident that the next executive director to step into the position will be joining a great organization on solid footing. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
All right, now with another look at the winter, here's Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
It's arrived, better late than never. But take a look at these temperatures. This is basically the wind chill value Saturday morning. 32 below zero northeast Montana, 22 below in Lewistown, well below zero in Great Falls, and right around zero in Helena. I'll have more on the snow and the cold headed our way coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Welcome back, everybody. Some cold air has moved into parts of the state here. Great Falls, 14 degrees right now. Remember yesterday? Feels like a month away, but we hit 59 in Great Falls yesterday for the high temperature. Helena, just a couple snow showers off south of town and west of town, 33 degrees, a west wind at 23 miles per hour. Feels like 24 out there, but there is a pretty evident boundary that is separating kind of the northern half of the state from numbers into the teens to the southern half of the state, 20s and 30s, also west of the divide, low 30s in Missoula and Kalispell. This brief cold air will move out tomorrow and then back in on Friday and then really in Friday night into Saturday. The wind, yeah, we've got some wind. And with temperatures in the teens, when you have wind speeds only 10, 15 miles per hour, that's going to create a pretty chilly wind chill. We've got wind chill values now of 3 below in Glasgow, 3 above in Havre, 6 in Cutbank, and as I mentioned, 24 in Helena. Some snow showers moving through parts of the state here. Couple up here, north central Montana, nothing really that heavy. Looks like just west of Lincoln. Boy, heading out there around Clearwater Junction through about the Ovando area, moving through about to the Greeno Hill area. We've got some good snow, and some of that is spilling up over the Continental Divide right there. And then some snow showers around Hayes and Zortman and Landusky, pushing across the Missouri River to about the Fort Peck Lake area. Some scattered snows out into the Dakotas and also through Utah and Wyoming into Colorado. But back here home, some snow showers will continue really in the western part of the state here tonight, and it's mainly in the mountains. So we'll see that accumulation into the higher terrain. Tomorrow morning, things look fairly quiet. There will still be some snow into the mountains, but clouds will increase, so enjoy a little sunshine early on, because by the afternoon, most of the state is mostly cloudy. And late tomorrow, that's when some snow will start to increase here across the north central part of the state. Lewistown getting some snow late tomorrow into Friday morning. Cutbank, Great Falls, Lewistown, right around Helena. There will be some mountain shadowing, so not much, if any, snow falling in the Helena Valley on Friday morning, but we'll likely get that a little later on in the day. Snow continues here through a lot of Friday for western and central Montana, so some accumulation will certainly occur, and then additional accumulation will happen Saturday and Sunday, possibly into Monday. So through tonight and tomorrow morning, mainly in the mountains, but heading through Thursday night into Friday morning, Lewistown starting to see some accumulation, couple inches around Great Falls, a little more out into eastern Cascade County, Belts, Geyser over through Judith Basin County. Look at the little belts getting hit pretty hard. Also the big belts and down the Continental Divide, the Swan Range, the Missions getting hit really hard, the Bitterroots. This is going to be a major snow event, feet accumulation into the mountains. And then by Friday evening, All right, a little light accumulation in the lower elevations, but there will be more Friday night into Saturday. Tonight, pretty chilly. Temperatures in the teens here in single digits out the High Line, and again up there north of Glasgow, out to Opine into almost right against the North Dakota border, looking at wind chill advisory for wind chills down to about 30 below. Some snow showers around Lewistown, certainly some snow showers around Nyhart, Monarch, over through the Little Belt Mountains, and a couple of flakes in Lincoln and Great Divide over around Elliston and Deer Lodge here tonight into tomorrow morning. For tomorrow, it's mainly in the mountains, and look at the warmer temperatures here getting up into the 30s, even maybe about 41 degrees in the Helena Valley. Snow in the mountains, snow increasing Thursday night into Friday in some of the lower elevations here. Friday likely having a little snow in the morning, and then more snow, another round coming through late in the day with the Arctic air pushing in. Saturday, waking up to some snow. Yeah, more snow throughout the day. Temperatures likely dipping below zero for north central, northeast Montana. Helen about 20 degrees right on the edge of some warmer air off towards the west and some much colder air off towards the north. And Sunday, still widespread snow, at least into the afternoon. And this is when that real bitter Arctic air will move into and across most of the state. So there you can see for Helen a 7-day forecast. About 41 tomorrow, snow mainly in the mountains, a little snow into Friday morning, and then Friday night into Saturday. Saturday night, 10 below in Helena, likely staying below zero from Sunday, maybe all the way into the middle of next week. And look at those lows. 18 to 20 degrees below zero, colder than anything we've seen so far this winter and colder than anything we saw last winter as well. For Great Falls, a little warmer tomorrow. Cold air really arrives Friday night into Saturday, and we're down 20 to 25 degrees below zero for overnight lows from really Saturday night all the way into next week.
Wow, those are some cold temperatures. And coming up on the news at 6, meet the Fighting Saints football team's newest in-state recruits.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back, everybody. Carroll College football's spring practices are just around the corner. Tonight, MTN's Sam Hoyle gets you caught up on the Fighting Saints' new in-state football commits.
On February 3rd, Carroll College football announced their 2021 fall football recruiting class, or at least most of it. Troy Purcell and his staff have a handful of in-state commits that fans will likely be talking about for at least a little while, starting with Branson Becker from Valley Christian High School. Becker coming in as a two-time All-State player. Cormac Ben from Big Fork High School. Ben wreaked havoc at the Class B level for the Vikings this year with nearly 2,000 yards of rushing and 25 touchdowns while chipping in on defense across 9 games. In Helena, Capitals' Jayton Winkle will trade the brown and yellow for a splash of purple and gold. Winkle averaged over 11 tackles a game last year. Down to Dillon, Daxon Graham joins the Saints, and joining Graham will be Cole Truman from the Beavers as well. Graham, a first-team All-State defensive back. Truman, an All-Conference and All-State wide receiver. Mitch Moralt from Missoula Big Sky and Bryce Holland from Butte Central will join the Saints as well. Dylan Neeskins from Glasgow, the 4-year starter for the Scotties, helped lead them to a deep run in the Class B playoffs this past season. And last but not least, Marcus Whitman from Billings Central. Whitman helped lead Central to a state title berth this past season and threw for 18 touchdowns in his high school career. And though the Saints have a solid core of in-state players to work with next season, Fighting Saints head coach Troy Purcell said recruiting this year was far from normal.
There was some Zoom interactions with some, with professors, Zoom with facilities. Coach Bandolo did a great job putting together a virtual kind of tour of Carroll College and what we had to offer here.
Purcell did say he still has somewhere between 6 and 10 scholarships to hand out for certain position groups. It's just a question of who he's going to be able to get. Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN Sports.
All right, and we'll wrap things up here on the news at 6 when we come back.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. All right, well, if you're sick of working from home, Airstream has got your back. They are making it possible for customers to work remotely while traveling. The company announced it will add office space to one of its most popular models. The 30-foot-long trailer will come with a corner office with a desk, chair, and hookups for internet connections. Now, the work area also contains a fold-out bed in case you want a nap, heavy curtains to create better lighting for group calls, probably Zoom meetings, and the changes are the first time Airstream has ordered a specific workspace in one of their trailers. What more could you need? And that does it for the news at 6. We'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest news and a look at the weather. Have a good evening.